Good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me for Simply Stamping on Saturday. My name is Gloria Valle, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So this is kind of what the project sheet looks like, by the way. And this information, like I said, will be posted on my blog later today. We're going to go ahead and start first with a gift card holder. So previously, I've made this card because it is just so easy and so popular. And I'm using two core colors, and that is the cinnamon cider. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 11 inches long. Actually, let me go ahead and pull the piece that I'm going to be working with. And I'm using some designer series paper, and this is from our Gilded Autumn designer specialty paper. And if you notice, there's a lot of sheen right here. That's the paper is a little glossy, plus the embellishments on here are made of foil stamps, so that makes the card really special. And this is the little gift card holder pocket, and it's really nice and snug, so your card's not going to go flying out. And we're going to decorate the inside of our card as well as the outside. So it's very simple stamping this morning. All right, so we are starting with the 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it, which I've already done some pre-scoring at 5 1/2. That takes our card in half. I've also scored it at, I had it upside down. So I also scored it at 1 1/2. That's what's going to make our little gift card pocket. And then I have the 5 1/2. And so you're going to have kind of a partial front. That's where we're going to put our designer series paper here and here to decorate it. So the first thing I want to do, just kind of get my base card ready, is put a little bit of adhesive here on this edge and this edge. So I want to hold that secure, but not make it too wide, so that a standard size gift card will fit in there. Just put some pressure. It doesn't take long for this glue to adhere. The glue works beautifully. It takes long enough that you can wiggle when you're doing some other type of gluing. You can adjust your layout, but it's long enough that you need to hang on to the edges to hold it in place. All right, so that's ready. Now, the other piece we can do quickly is let's go ahead and get our designer specialty paper out. These are 1 1/4 inch wide by 4 inches tall. So again, very quickly, there's nothing that keeps me from doing this part first. In other words, there's no layer that needs to go underneath it. Now, I will tell you, as you get more involved in stamping, you may want to add layers. I personally, and when I'm crafting, there are some times where I get really elaborate. And for example, if I wanted to spice this card up, I could even put a piece of metallic, either gold or copper, behind this and make 2 layers. So then it would show the metallic trim and then my designer specialty paper. Of course, if I did that, I would make this designer strip a little bit more narrow so that the additional piece would show. So there's that. That's so easy, right? Okay, the other thing that I can do is let's go ahead and stamp. Now, I put this piece, I pulled this piece out because this is our brushed metallic, and I believe this one is the brass. So it comes in brass, silver, gold. And again, for the sake of time, I'll show you my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in our next project, so you'll know what I'm talking about if you're a first-time crafter and not sure how I did this. But I took this metallic piece and a die cut that comes with this bundle, and I laid this on here, ran it through my machine, and this is the wheel that I get. And I wanted to do that because I just want a little bling on my wheelbarrow at the front of my card. So just thought I'd share that with you. Now we're going to be stamping using a brand new set called Autumn Goodness. Look at these dies. Aren't they really precious. So now we have Autumn Goodness, and we're gonna stamp with that today. So as I mentioned, we have two colors that we're working with, the Cinnamon Cider and the Bumblebee. Now, let me tell you about these two pieces. They're identical. One is gonna go on the inside of my card, and one is gonna go on the outside of my card. Now, there is only 1/4 of an inch difference in the length and width. So to be able to be accurate for your purpose, I'm gonna tell you, this one is 4 inches tall and 3 3/4 wide. This one is the Bumblebee color. My layer that I'm gonna stamp on is 3 1/2 inches by 3 3/4. So I shaved off 1/4 inch each time. So that's what it's gonna look like when I put my final layers down. This is the exact same thing. And I say this because if I stamp it incorrectly, it's not gonna fit just right. So again, 4 inches by 3 3/4, 3 1/2 inches by 3 3/4. Now these measurements will be on my blog right after this video. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp this top layer. I won't adhere this for 2 reasons. One, I've opted to put a ribbon, so I want to wrap it around before I adhere my Bumblebee piece. And secondly, I won't adhere this one because I'm going to stamp. And as much as I, have stamped, every now and then there's a little glitch and I have to flip my cardstock over to stamp it more clearly. So we're going to start with our wheelbarrow. And these are polymer stamps. I have several stamps. Okay, here we go. So here's the wheelbarrow, and I'm just gonna tap it. These lines are so nice, and they make such a distinct pattern. Whoops, I can tell that I didn't get, there we go. It has a really nice, clean, distinct pattern. I have to remember to angle so that the wheel and the stand come together. And then on this one, I'm going to stamp my pumpkins with the Bumblebee color because I want to keep my tones together. Now, I'm going to use a piece of scrap because I'm going to mask a little bit. I don't really, my pumpkin color is light enough that it's going to show a little bit there, but I don't want it to overwhelm the wheelbarrow, and I want it to look like my pumpkins are already inside the wheelbarrow. So you can see how that just meshed in, it blends in nicely. So that's it. That's the stamping for our outside. We'll get to the inside in a moment. Oops, wait, I did forget. I want to put my sentiment. I'm going to put a thankful sentiment right here. This gift card can be an appreciation for something that you'd like to recognize a person for doing for you. All right, now we're going to take our little brass wheel and go ahead and take a little bit of this adhesive. I thought about using a dimensional, but the spokes are very thin and the wheel center is very small. Now, what I could have also done was use my double adhesive paper, but this has a nice round center and I just wanted just that to adhere to my wheelbarrow. It's just kind of more realistic. But I will be showing you the double adhesive tape on my next project. Now, this ribbon that I'm using is the metallic ribbon from a ribbon combo. Condo. I must be wanting to go to the beach or something. Condo. All right, the combo is a basket weave. It's very pretty. I believe it's macaron, mint macaron, I think. I'd have to look for sure. It's a real pretty green tone. I'm fairly sure it's mint macaron. And then, so one of the two ribbons is the basket weave. It's about, I think about 3/8 of an inch wide. And then this one is a very narrow 1/8 of an inch wide metallic ribbon. It's just got a real nice shimmer to it. Let's trim that off. we go. Okay, and I can move that around. I'm going to adjust that bow just a hair. There we go. Trim this just a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to now adhere our Whisper White to the back of, to the front of, I should say, the bumblebee. Not to confuse you, let me just kind of show you. That's what I was talking about with this adhesive. It's just enough to let you align the pieces before it sets. Okay, so there's my card front. This is getting super easy, isn't it? Very quick and easy. It doesn't require but 2 colors. Now on my blog, I will have direct links if you want to make this project exactly as I've made it, and then follow me next week for some additional ideas with this stamp set. This is a great start. 2 colors of cardstock, and actually this cardstock is, because these 2 colors are in colors, you could buy the in color cardstock assortment, and you would get all of these colors in one package. So you're really only investing in 1 package of paper, and you'd have this cardstock. The designer series paper has beautiful colors, and you get 12 sheets, and each sheet has 2 designs. So it's really nice because you'll have a lot of paper to make cards with. Okay, so we've done the front of our cards done and ready, and now let's stamp the inside of our card. I wanted to just show off these beautiful stamps. I love the lines in them. They're so detailed, and I wanted to keep it simple. So what I've done, I'm going to show you my card. I have the words plant kindness, harvest love, and a little haystack there. So what I've done is I've put my 2 stamps side by side. I laid them down on my grid paper, and then I just put my block on top of them, and it picked them up. So all I have to do now is ink it up, and then come to my white cardstock, and there we go. It's done. That one simple stamp. I think this is probably the fastest card I've made on Facebook Live. So here's my Starbucks gift card, and see how nicely that fits, and that's ready to go. What a nice thank you. All right, so let's get started with this project. Oh, and by the way, this is our mini pizza box. I'll tell you more about this box as we put it together. So here are my pieces. I have the mini pizza box, so since I mentioned it, let me share this with you. Looks like I got a little bit of adhesive. Okay, so the nice thing about these is that they are waxed on the inside, which means that while I have put a prepackaged cookie, and that has more to do with today's times, and if you're going to give anything away, it's got to be store-bought. If you're going to give it away at school, or at work, it needs to be store-bought. But like for friends and families that know you and know what a fabulous baker you are, you can put homemade cookies in here, and they fit nicely, and you don't have to worry about the grease or frosting leaking out, because the wax packaging keeps all of that good stuff, all the butteriness and yummy stuff inside, and it's protected with the wax coating. And so that is how we fold our pizza box. Isn't that cute? It's a mini pizza box. And then there's all kinds of ways to decorate these. I did a lot of these last year in my classes, and I just realized I hadn't shared this with you. To me, it just seems so simple because you buy the package of mini pizza boxes. They also come in gold foil. So those are going to be perfect for the holidays, and I'm going to write myself a note to do a project with that so you can see how gorgeous those are. Okay, so this is the easy part, just folding that and laying it aside till we get all the details made. Now, I'm going to use pumpkin pie scrap, literally, you can tell it's my scrap, so I can cut out 2 triangles, and I'm using the right angle triangles from Stitch Triangles. I'm going to emboss this piece. Now, this is Pacific Point, and you can tell it's close, very close to the Oreo packaging. So Pacific Point. Now, this is 3.5 by 3.5, and it's the perfect cover for the box. So 3.5 by 3.5 is my only layer that's going to cover the surface, but I'm going to jazz it up by embossing it. And then I have a scrap of white. This is about what looks like 3.5 inches by about 4.25 probably. It's a piece of scrap. Anytime I have leftover white pieces, I just throw them in this little container. And when I need a piece of white, I look for something that looks like it's going to fit. So we're going to use this. And then this is basic black. Now, this is much bigger than I need, but I keep some, because I use these a lot for lettering, I put the double-sided adhesive on this already. And I'm going to run my dies through here, and that's going to make it easier for me to stick the cookies and then the letter B and exclamation point onto my card. So let's get started with what I just described. And then after I finish, I want to show you, because I'm going to show you the tools that I use, because there are actually quite a few die cut sets that are involved in this. And that's why this one's actually more complicated. Probably my more experienced crafters, you're more likely to have these pieces. And so let me turn that around. And if you don't, well, I'll be happy to help you get what you need. Okay, let's start with the black cardstock. So I'm going to pay attention where I'm flipping this. I trust me, I'm doing this from experience of making mistakes. Go ahead and do it like this. Yeah. Okay. Put this layer on top, run it through. Now I'm going to keep this here. I need another, remember I told you I'm going to double the D's. Double the D's. So let me pop this out. I need this die again. Let's do another one right there. Now I could run my cookies through the tape, but I like to save that adhesive tape for more delicate pieces, small pieces like this. So I'm just going to run my circles through this piece right here, or at least one of them. So I have this, I don't need the adhesive. It's just such a wide piece that I just as soon use tape or liquid adhesive. Okay, this is from Layering Circles, and this is the second smallest circle in that die set. Looks like I am going to have to use some adhesive. That or another scrap. Let's just go ahead and do that. It's just easier. Okay, so those two pieces, those are the Oreo cookie base. Put that there. Just going to take a little bit of black ink here and stamp two of these. This one is called Subtle Dynamic. It's a 3D embossing folder, and hopefully you can see the texture on that. It's meant to be subtle. That's why it's called subtle. We're going to be placing that right on top. And again, I wanted to give it some texture because all packaging has some kind of crinkle or texture to it. I didn't want it too crinkly. I wanted it to have just enough texture. And then we're just going to put that down like that. Now, I considered putting a ribbon around, but because I have to play with these letters, I opted to put a bow at the end because I love having the ribbons. All right, so we're going to put the easy parts down. I'm going to need to stamp this one before I adhere it, and that is a stamp called Especially for You, and that one comes from the Little Treats stamp set. And again, at the end of this, I'll pull out all the pieces and show you what they look like, the different sets. Especially for You. Perfect. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Again, I'm going to use the liquid glue. It's a small piece. Put it right here. I love these triangles. There's just so much you can do with them. This looks more like it. Tasteful Textures is just a little bit bigger texture than Subtle. And I think it's going to be more like the Oreo cookies. Let's try. Now this one, this is one of the new embossing folders, and it's a 3D folder, but it is thicker. So the instruction says that I'm going to use my #1 plate, which is this one, and my #4 plate, which is this one. So this will work as designed. There we go. So let's, ooh, my goodness, look at that. Can you see that texture? Does that not look like an Oreo cookie? Ooh, look, put the ooh, yum. Oh, I'm gonna have to tear open this bag. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So here we go. I'm gonna have to go and add this to my instructions. Tasteful texture? Tasteful Textile, that's the embossing folder. Now here's the fun part. I need to create the letter B. And the way I'm going to do that, because see, this is the size of Playful Alphabet. It's perfect for all kinds of lettering, but I wanted the letter B. And now I do have the large alphabet that we used to sell, and sadly, it's not available. So I thought, well, why am I going to show you that? Because if you don't have it, you can't buy it right now. So I need to show you something you can get and feel good about. Okay, so I'm going to put the top of the B there. So there's my letter B. Isn't that cool? Easy peasy. And then we have our Oreo cookies next, and we're going to overlap them. Now, I wanted both of them to look like they had been bitten into. So the trick to that is you got to have this. This is really cool. These are the autumn, oh gosh, what is that one called? The autumn punches. I'll think about it. Gilded Autumn. All I'm going to do is take a bite, literally a bite out of my cookie with this. You see how the leaves have that little scallop there? So I'm going to do about that much. See, it looks like a bite. Do it to both of them. And really without even much effort, look at that. Is that not cute? Oh my goodness. Now, this box, let me close this one. so you can see the contrast. I'm going to make it with the chocolate chip stamp because it does remind me of the Oreo cookie ice cream. So this one I made with the plain, and this one I'm going to make with the cookie. What do you think? Anybody want to give me a thumbs up or a comment or a suggestion? What do you think? A or B? I'm going to go ahead and make this because you can still make it the way you want, right? So let's put some adhesive back here. I love these cookies. Oh my gosh, they look so real. I want a cookie now. You know, I had to hide this. Now, it comes in a big box at Walmart. There's like 34 packages, and I know that's plenty. Even with 10 grandkids, only 8 of them are old enough to eat cookies right now. But I knew if I left them out, they'd be eating all of them before Halloween, and before I could even do projects with it. So I had to hide them. Well, sure enough, I came home, and the package of cookies and the package of Reese's that I had left on my craft table to design something with had disappeared. And that was the day I had my high schooler here with the 2 younger ones, helping them with their online while I was out taking care of my mom. Anyway, it was so funny. I was like, what happened to the cookies? Where'd they go? And I look over, and of course I get this grin. What? What cookies? Yeah, good thing I hid the rest of them. Don't worry, they get plenty of treats from me. It's not like they lack anything. Now here's where I have to ad lib. I need an exclamation point. So I'm just gonna do a quick little cut like that. And like that. I may even have to trim it because it may be, oh, that's pretty good. Ooh. And I do think I lost the I to cookies. I mean the dot to the I, not the I. There you go. Ooh. Okay, so do I have a dot here? No dots. Okay, well, I'll have to make a dot. How about this? Oh, that'll work, but it's so tiny. Okay, let's put cookies down first. Boo, cookies, especially for you. Okay, boo, cookies, especially for you. Now, do I have any scraps here? Oh, I have this scrap. Is this, okay, let's do this. This'll work. Teeny piece, but okay, and a little dot of glue. Tiny dot, please. You know, when you want a little dot, you get a bunch. And let's use the tip of my putty knife. Let's see if it'll hold this just in, yep. Ah, we used to have some black rhinestones. That would have been cute. There. Now, I lost the dot to my eye. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't wanna like get carried away. You could opt to use your little black marker and just put a dot there. I think that would work just great. I have my Stampin' Up marker, but I also have this one. Let's see what that does. See? Can't even tell. Goodness. Perfect. All right, and then we have one little empty space here, so let's use this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black organdy glitter ribbon. Let's make our little bow. Boo. Boo, cookies for you. Okay, which one do you like better? The one with the chips, the little chocolate crumbles inside, or the one that's plain? Or a little both. And you know, sometimes you just can't think outside the box and play around with what you have. And so I wanted to stamp a sentiment, and I needed something. Originally I thought I was going to put for you, but then when I went through my sets, Little Treats, which has a cute little box die that comes with it as a bundle, has the words especially for you. So Little Treats featured the sentiment. Nothing's Better Than is where I got my chocolate chip cookie stamp. But like I said, if you're actually going to make a card with chocolate chips, you can use this to shade in the cookie with a tone of maybe probably Sahara sand or crumb cake. Then this is Love You More Than. These are the dies that come with this bundle. Nothing's Better Than, this bundle. And so I have certain words that I can cut out, like coffee and chocolate. Then I use the Playful Alphabets, and this is where I got my letter D. You can see if I had used the B, it wasn't going to be big enough. So I just doubled down with the B's. And then the Stitched Triangle. I love, there are 3 different kinds of triangles, and then there's trim pieces as well. So I used the 2 smaller right angle triangles from this one. Then I use my layering circles, and the circle that I use for the chocolate part of the cookie is actually the second smallest circle from that layer. Then originally I started with the subtle dynamic 3D embossing folder. That's this one. And we were ad-libbing, and I'm glad we did. We added Tasteful Textile to the cookie itself. And see, what else did I not show you? That's it, right? Yeah, those are all the pieces, the featured products in this, that and this beautiful organdy ribbon. So hope you liked today's projects as much as I enjoyed making them and sharing them with you today. And just a reminder, if you have any needs, catalogs, demonstrator support, you want to join a team of wonderful ladies that we get together at least monthly. We have our own private Facebook group, and we have our own private online meetings. As a matter of fact, we're having a meeting this coming week. So if you'd like to join us, just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to share more information with you, and I'd love to have you join us. Okay? So go to my blog, sign up for the emails, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and stick with me here on Facebook, and I'll see you again on Thursday night. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful weekend.